drive up to the first player's ball, and he'll sit there and wait while the person hits the ball, and then move the cart maybe 10, 20 yards to his ball and go hit.
I thought it was like going to school.
I would too, but it's not showing good etiquette. So make sure you're out of sight.
What is that?
Out of view.
Oh, this one drives me crazy, Jeff. It's when people leave their tees laying around.
What should they do?
Oh, pick them up.
Hey, I'm Jeff Harrison, my partner.
I'm Amy Anderson.
Welcome to Etiquette Moments, and we want to talk a little bit about rules today, and we're gonna really kind of venture down the road maybe a little differently on not only what is a particular rule, maybe the decisions you'd make and things like that. So, Amy, what do we want to talk about today?
Well, I thought it'd be cool to talk about lateral hazards.
Lateral hazards. Hey, what is a lateral hazard?
Well, I think a lot of people think a lateral hazard can just be in the water. It's just a hazard on the course where you don't get relief from it. So it can be water, it can be a arroyo, it could be a bunker.
You know, I've seen, we live out here in the desert Southwest, and I've been in the desert Southwest for now, gosh, a long time, let's put it that way. And on our golf course, especially, we had a Pete Dye golf course in Arizona. I was there, and we made all of our rough, which was desert area, lateral hazard.
Okay.
And what we did, the reason we did that, Amy, is for pace of play. So someone could actually use one of the 5 options on a lateral hazard and say, hey, wherever it last crossed the margin of that hazard, I can go down and drop my ball there, and it would save a ton of time. So, like you said, it doesn't have to be just a water.
No, and big difference, it's part of the golf course, whereas out of bounds is not part of the golf course. This is part of the golf course, and you have several choices. You can actually play out of a lateral hazard. There's no rule that says you can't.
Now, let's go through that. Okay, so a lateral hazard is marked how, Amy?
Usually by a red line or by red stakes.
Okay, good. Or in this case,
on the scorecard.
On the scorecard, it's designated.
Yeah.
Like we had a lot of golf course.
Yeah.
It was obviously anything left of the cart path kind of thing. But anyway, so red is really the number that's a lateral.
Correct.
Now, if I choose to hit out of it, Amy, which that's our first option. We have 5 options. The first one is I can hit out of it. Okay. If I hit out of it, can I take practice swings in there?
No.
I can't take any
Well,
practice
you can
swings.
take a practice swing, you just can't touch the ground.
Okay, so, and I can't disturb any of the surroundings.
Right,
like if
can't
a bush,
test
if I'm out there and it is a lateral hazard and it's a desert, I can't move a rock or stones or move a bush, right?
Correct.
Everything has to stay that it is.
Just play it as it is. If it's water, you can't touch the water until you're actually making the swing.
Okay, so good. So that's rule 1, or that's step 1. I have an option of hitting it out of the lateral hazard, but I can't move anything. I
Correct.
can take all the practice swings I want as long as I don't disturb that surface.
And absolutely no penalty. You don't get a penalty shot, so that's awesome.
Okay, so knowing that is
that's huge.
Saves you a couple of shots.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so what's the second thing you could do with a lateral hazard? I can hit out of it. What's the second one?
Well, the second one is you can go back to where you first hit your shot, where it actually went into the hazard, and re-hit from there.
Okay, so if I hit off a tee and it went in, let's say it went into a lateral water hazard, and there's water out there, maybe I can't hit out of there. So I can say, hey, I want to re-tee. That's okay. I don't have to drop it. I can actually re-tee it. Okay?
Exactly.
All right. Why would I do that?
Well, if you're on the tee box, what a great lie that is.
Okay.
And maybe you own that shot, and where the ball went into the hazard, it's an awkward angle into a green. That happens to me a lot of times where I'm kind of short-sighted. I'm like, geez, I don't own that next shot. I might as well just go perfect the one I just did.
Cool. Okay, so we've got hit it from where it went in, it's actually in the hazard. The second one is hit it from where I first hit the shot or last hit the shot to make it go in there, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that could be out of a fairway, anything, wherever I hit it from.
Correct.
Made it go in there.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit about this where it last crossed into the hazard. You can take that point where it went in and go 2 club lengths back and drop.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's interesting, a lot of people think you have to take your stance and then you get your 2 club lengths. No, it's 2 club lengths from the edge of the hazard, so that red line or where the imaginary line would be.
Is that why we see, like, on TV, the tour pros, they take their longest club in the bag to get their most relief, and that's not illegal, right?
Oh, not at all.
So somebody says, oh, no, Amy, you've got to use the club you intend to hit. You're going to hit a sandwich here. You can't pull your driver out. That's not true, is it?
That's not true. So the longest club it's probably the wisest decision.
Now, I can't use that orange whip that has like that 14-foot extension on it, right? I
you
guess
would
we
try.
draw the line.
That's not a club.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
so I can't use that. So that's the third. Now, what's the fourth option?
Well, the fourth option is equidistance. So you can, let's say you have a hazard, and maybe there's a bush in front of you going to the flagstick, you can go to the other side of the hazard, the exact same equal distance from the flagstick, take your 2 club links and drop on the other side as well.
You know, that reminds me of something when I was watching the Phoenix Open, as it was called then, and Freddie on 18 hit it way left. Now this was before a lot of things had happened. There was a long time ago, and he hit it way left of the water, and over there was just desert and it was rocks and it was an ugly hill, and it was like a terrible place to hit off of. So he invoked that. He took the equidistance and dropped in the fairway on the other side, and I think he ended up winning that year.
Well, I think it's important to know these rules because that'll bail you out a lot of times.
And that wasn't a penalty.
No.
I mean, he was able to, instead of try to hit this shot off of a terrible condition, terrible stance, terrible lie, he got a perfect stance, perfect lie. Okay? Now, what would be the last one? We've got 4.
Well, the 5th would be you can take the spot where the ball crossed last into the hazard and keep the hazard between that spot and the flagstick and go back as far as you want. You can go back 200 yards and hit.
So if let's say, for instance, I went in the water and there's a tree that's right there, a bunch of bushes, I could go back as far as I want, so when I hit my shot, that tree really isn't an issue.
Correct.
As long as I keep that point between myself and my target, right?
Correct. Or we all have that 20-yard shot where we kind of stall out. It's hard to hit that pitch shot. And you know what? I love 50 yards. I'm going to go back to 50 yards, hit my 50-yard swing, knock it close.
And that's totally in the rules.
Totally in the rules.
Wow, you know what? So maybe a lateral hazard isn't always such a bad thing.
No.
But it's a bad thing when you don't know your options.
Yeah, know the rules and it'll make you a better player.
I love that. Well, thanks for joining us. We love your feedback. So if you have any questions or comments, please email us at either Jeff or Amy at Swing Point Media. It's Jeff at swingpointmedia.com or Amy at swingpointmedia.com. We'd love to hear your comments, and we're going to keep doing these rules. Really, kind of the ones that are probably the most common that people are not sure how to play. Like, very rarely do people know there's 5 options with the lateral.
Exactly. And I think one we should talk about next is how do you actually drop?
Oh.
Oh.
Thanks for joining us. I have to go figure out how to do that. I'm Jeff Harrison.
I'm Amy Anderson.
For Etiquette Moments.